Welcome back to another lesson of Adobe Photoshop. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the Image and Layer tab in Adobe Photoshop and also the additional tools of Adobe Photoshop and what it has to offer. Okay, so let's start off with the Image and also the Layer tab. First off, I'm going to click on Image, and you can see that there are a couple of these options which you can select from and use on. First is going to be mode. Okay, you can select the mode of your color and the color preference you're using. Most of the time I select on CMYK, but as you've seen on the previous of this lesson or the previous lesson, I've used RGB color because that is more easy and beginner friendly instead of using CMYK colors. But I'm going to suggest you to use CMYK colors because that has more variant and also a lot more, let's say, flexible. Okay, but you can use whichever one you want. That's like totally up to you. And then we have other options too, such as 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit. Well, that is going to be the density of the color and what type of colors you want. If you want more shades, then obviously use more bits, and if you want less shades, you can use less bits. Then we have is adjustments. You can also fix the lighting problem and also posterization threshold, gradient map, selected color, and all of those, like fixing your lighting and the color by going through these options of adjustments. Let's say I'm going to fix the brightness and contrast. Click on this option. You can see that an interface like this will appear up. Then you can use these sliders to fix up your brightness and also your contrast by selecting or typing in the data which you want to use. If you want to use legacy, just click on this option. It's going to be reverted back to itself. Let's say I'm going to keep it on 39, keep it on 15, and after you're done, just press on OK. But if you want auto result, just click on OK or auto. It will be directly applied to your photo. I'm going to press on OK as we're done, but if you don't want to, just press on Control Z, and then you're good to go. Then we have is other tools such as levels. If you want to fix levels in your photo, just as we did on Lightroom and fix up the curves, you can also do that. Select on this part, or select. Let's say I'm going to select on over here, and you'll be able to fix those parts of let's say lightings and all of those. Just through here, you can also fix whichever specific color you want to change. Let's say if you want to change the whole RGB all at once, just press on Alt 2 or select on this part. But if you want to select the specific colors in your photo, let's say I want red to change, then you can select on this and you will see that this is how it actually looks like. If you want, let's say green, let's say I'm going to do is decrease the green or increase the green. Let's say I'm going to keep it something like this, and now you can see that the color looks a lot more, let's say, warm and also a bit reddish. Okay, let's say I'm going to fix the blue now. Let's say I'm going to do is increase or decrease the blue and keep it however I want. And you can see that it has, turned into a bit more normal. Now, after you're done, just press on OK, but you can also use, let's say the eyedropper tools to get exact colors which you want to use or change. You can also use the output levels of specific colors, such as, this is the blue part of the photo. And if you want to change the density of that photo, just, select on this tool and you will be able to do that just from over here. After you're done, just press on OK. You will be able to select, specific presets too. Let's say I'm going to do is light and shadow, but I don't want that. I'm just going to press on custom and, fix it however I want or, keep it however I want. But if I don't want to, just press on auto and you are good to go. Just press on OK and you will get an exact result and however you want it to be like. Okay. Now, the next tools are going to be a bit different. I'm going to go to image, go to adjustment, then it's going to be the curves. You'll be able to fix out your curves from over these tools. Let's say you want to fix this part. Okay, let's say I'm going to select on this part and you can see that it is changing its like the lightings and all of those. Let's say I'm going to select on this part again. I'm going to select on this or keep it like this. I'd say I'm going to select on this part. If you want to change it, you'll be able to fix it and fiddle through it and get an exact result of how it actually looks like when you change it. Okay, so you have to go through each and every one so that you get an exact result and however you want it to keep it. Okay, so now you can see that the details are a lot more. So I'm going to do is click on this option and keep it to be a lot more smoother. And you can also use presets from over here. Let's say I'm going to do this medium contrast, or let's say lightings, lighter RGB, or let's say linear contrast, which is a lot more better. But if you want pigment ink, you can also fix that. But if you want light ones, you can just press on light. You can also fix the grids. Okay, so you will be able to fix certain places a lot more easier. Okay, you can also use this show channel overlays, histogram, baseline, intersection line, and all of those. After you're done, just press on OK. But first off is you have to fix out the channel first, which color you want to use. And after you're done, just press on OK, and then you're good to go. Then let's go to the other, let's say exposure. If you want to fix your exposure, you can see it is a lot like Adobe Lightroom, but it's a lot more specific and a lot more complex than Lightroom because it has a lot more tools and it is just for specific photo editing and all of those, okay? And also get an exceptional result. So what you can do is fix up your exposure, offset, and also gamma correction from over here. And if you're done, just press on cancel if you don't want it to be applied. But if you want to, just press on OK, and then you will be good to go. Go to image again, and then let's say I'm going to use other tools such as, vibrance, hue, saturation, and all of those. I'm going to go to each and every one of them. Fix the vibrance by clicking on vibrance. You can select specific colors too. You can see the photo is now changing. After you're done, just press on which one you want to use or which one you want to change. You can also do that from over here, just as we did in Adobe Lightroom. After you're done, just press on OK. And you can also get previews, but if you don't like it, just press on cancel, and that everything will be discarded. So I don't want any of those. So I'm going to press on Control Z. I'm going to go to image again, go to another one, hue saturation. If you want to do that, you'll be able to get that. Just move it or, do it however you want. Let's say I'm going to go to the other ones. Let's say color balance. You will be able to do that, which is also known as CB sometimes. You can fix out those, certain details and get an exact result and how it actually looks like. Okay. So in the next one is going to be a bit different. So as this lesson is going to be a bit bigger. So let's say I'm going to go through each and every one of those tools and show you how it actually works like. So stay with us. Okay. Now the next tool is going to be color balance. Okay. Which we did right now. This is going to be black and white. If you want to fix out your blacks and whites in the photo, just click on black and white and you will see there is going to be certain colors which you can change. Let's say I'm going to use yellows. Okay. Let's say, so even though you are seeing it as, a black and white photo, but it's going to detect which part it had been, certain colors and, black and white are in color, and then fix it out according to that. So when you turn it to be, black and white, okay, or change the color, you will see a certain result in those specific colors. Let's say you want to change the reds. You can see only the red parts which were in the actual photo or, color photo that will be applied. Okay, now let's go to the other tool which we already did right now. It's going to be photo filter. If you want to add photo filter, you can also do that. Just clicking on filter, whichever filter you want. Let's say orange, press on OK, and you will see the photo will turn into a bit more orange here because that is the filter of the photo. Okay, now as the photo filter has been added, let's go to the other tool of, let's say, like channel mixer. If you want to fix, the mixer channel, you can also do that. Let's say source channel, which one you want to use. The red parts are not changing. The green parts will not change. Let's say I'm going to keep it over here. I'm going to do is cancel first. Go to image again. Go to adjustment. Let's say channel mixer. Let's go to green now. Now, as you see, that is how it changed. You can also fix the blue and all of those when you get them one by one, selecting, or like editing each and every channels one by one, you will get a specific type of result. And also the photo will look a lot more better. And sometimes if you do some mistakes, you just have to do is, revert it back by pressing on Control Z, or just you can preview it and then get a cancel or click on the cancel and later on fix it back again. So as I don't want it, I'm going to press on cancel and it will revert back to its default self. I'm going to click on adjustment again, and now we have is color lookup. You can look up the color or the type of color you want to use. Let's say I'm going to select on this part or this part, whichever one you want to use. You can also use abstract and all of those. You can get it from, your specific panel, which you downloaded on your PC, and then use those specific colors. And if you're done, just press on OK, and then you're good to go. Let's go to another tool of adjustment, which is going to be invert. If you want to invert your photo like this into negative color, you can also keep it like this. But if you don't want it, just press on Control Z, and then it will be, removed. Then we have is posterized. If you want it to be posterized, you can see it is how it actually looks like. You can keep it to be, let's say, 215. But if you don't want that, just press on Control Z or cancel it according to your need, and you're going to get a specific type of result. Then we have is threshold. If you want to put in threshold like this photo, which you can see over here, you can also fix up these options like this and also keep it to be black and white, however you want. Then you will get an exact result too. Okay, now let's go to the other one, which is going to be gradient map and selective color. Gradient map is going to keep it to be something like this. You can use the grayscales or, sepia, which is also known as that. You can also use blues, let's say other colors. Whichever color you want to use, you can do that from over here, clicking on this option, and you can see a couple of these options have appeared up. Let's say iridescent, and I'm going to select on this one, and you can see it looks a lot more different. But what I'm going to do is going to be selecting on pinks and keep it something around over here. Let's say the smoothness should be something around over here. Press on OK. And then you will get an exact result. But if you don't want to, just press on Control Z, and then all will be removed, and you will get your, photo. Then we have the selective color. You can also do that by selecting on this option and, fixing it according to your need. And after you're done, just press on OK. So I'm not giving you like complex lessons or anything. I'm just giving you all the usage of the tools and how you'll be able to use them. Okay, now let's go to auto tone and all of those. But first of all, the last ones I'm going to show you is shadow highlight, HDR toning, desaturate, match color, replace color, equalize. So let's start off with the shadow highlight. You can fix up your shadows and highlights from these options using these sliders. Then the next tool is going to be something else, such as HDR toning. You'll be able to fix up your HDR, like let's say you might get something like this, could not convert the image to 16-bit channel because the scratch discs are full. Okay, what happens is that when you fix up those options, or you don't have spaces in your PC, or disk is full, and that is why you can be you won't be able to use that. But if you use a 32-bit at first, you will be able to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to be using that option. Go to adjustment, we're going to desaturate and all of those. You can see that desaturate, it is if the photo has been desaturated and thus has no color in it. That is what desaturation does. Then you can use match colors however you want by matching luminance, color intensity, and also fade. Then the other tool is, let's say replace color. You can also replace certain colors from a certain photo. Let's say I'm going to select on this part, and then you'll be able to get a specific type of result. It's going to take a bit of time, and you will see that is how it actually looks like. Now I'm going to go to adjustment again. The last one is going to be equalize. You can equalize your photo by, doing whatever you want. It's an auto tool, which is, detects your photo and then equalizes your color in your certain photograph so that it looks a lot more better and also usable. Now, let's go to the other tools such as tone, auto tone. You can also use auto tone and, get the auto tone of the photo. And you can use auto contrast and auto color just as we did. We did is like manual, and you can also do it like auto from over here. You can also select the image size, canvas size, image rotation, and all of those. You can crop, trim, reveal all. You can duplicate the photo, apply images or, calculations, variables, and apply data sets, traps, analysis, like all of them. Okay, you also have the ruler tool and all of those over here, count tool, place scale marker, and all of those. You can go through each and every of those tools and see how it actually works so that you can get an exact result. So as we're done with this image tab, let's go to the layer tab, which has a lot more tool, but it is we use it really a lot less comparatively to the other ones. You can use new to add in new layers, which we showed you in the first lesson of Adobe Photoshop. Then you can use duplicate layers, quick export as PNG, export as if you want to convert it as a photo. I'm going to show it to you later on in this course, but you'll be able to find it through over here. You can also use new fill layer, adjustment, layer mask, vector mask, and all of those, video layers, and also smart art objects, and all of those. You can go through, go down and see all these tools, okay, which you want to use, and then you will be good to go. Now let's go to the extra 5 tools, or the extra tools Adobe Photoshop has to offer. So we showed you up till the eraser tool in the previous lesson. Now it's going to be the other tools such as gradient tool. Then we have is this blur tool. Then we have is DOS tool, then pen tool, and then also the horizontal type tool. Okay. Then we have is this tool to be a bit different, which is path selection tool. So we are going to be showing you these 6 options, or six of these tools, and how those actually work. So let's start off with the gradient tool. If you want to add in gradient to your photo, select on this option. Let's say I'm going to click on this option. Press on OK. Now first off, let's go to home. Select on this option. I'm going to select on this option and then, do all the editing on that specific photo because, I have edited a lot on this photo. So it's going to take a while, and then, actually apply it on your screen where you'll be able to work on it. Now, as we opened up our photo, now I'm going to select on this part. And you can see that the gradient has now changed. But what I'm going to do is going to be a bit different, as the photo only has, certain, cells or, certain photos or certain details. So I'm going to do is use this photo, click on this option. And you can see it has also turned into white. So I'm going to do is select on blues and select on other parts such as these ones, okay? Even though sometimes it may not appear up because of certain photos or, the quality of the photo. So I'm selecting on this option, and let's say I'm going to use the girl photo again. So here I'm going to do is select on this option. Let's say I'm going to click on this option, and if it appears the same way, that is how the gradient actually works. What it does is, fixes the fill. But if you want to use certain, let's say paint bucket tool and all of those, I'm going to press on Control Z, select on this option, paint bucket tool, and you'll be able to apply that. And you can see that the color is now changing on certain parts. Okay, so I'm going to do is Control Z, and all of those. and you can see a certain result has been given. You can also use 3D material drop tool if you have 3D materials in your certain photo to use. Then we have is this blur tool. If you want to use blur on your photo, what you have to do is, let's say I'm going to select on this part. Do is click on this part, and let's say blur tool, fix on blur. Let's say I'm going to click in on these options. And now I'm going to do is click on this option, hardness to be like this. Zoom in. You can use this option as, let's say sharpen or smudge tool. Let's say smudge tool. You can see that it smudges away the layers. Let's say I'm going to click on the size and click it on like this, and you can see that is how the smudge tool actually works. You'll be able to make a warp and design out of it, just however you wish. Then there is another tool which is going to be sharpen tool. If you want to add, sharpen up your photo or sharpen up certain parts, you can also do that. Let's say I'm going to sharpen up this part and also sharpen up this part. I'm going to do is go down over here, sharpen up the, the fingers. As you can see from over here, you can see that the photo is becoming a lot more grainy because the photo is getting more sharper just as I drag this mouse by clicking on my left mouse key. Okay, now that is how the sharp tool actually works in a certain photo. Okay, or how this tool actually works. If you're done with it, now what we're going to do is going to be showing you the other tool, which is going to be this one, the dodge tool, or whichever tool we call. Let's say I'm going to use dodge a certain part. Let's say I'm going to click on this option, zoom in. Let's say I'm going to select on this part, and you can see the part is now becoming a lot more lighter and a lot more brighter than it actually is. See? Now you can see the difference. I'm going to go up a bit, and you can see the difference of this being a lot more clear than how it actually was, right? So that is how the dodge tool actually works in Adobe Photoshop. You can also use the burn tool to, burn certain parts to make it a bit more darker, okay? Just as you can see like this, which we did, and this is like vice versa, so that you can get a burnt effect. If you keep it on a certain part for a long time, you will see the part will become a lot more darker than it actually is. You can see it is a lot more darker. You can see it has given me the burnt effect, okay? So that is how the burn effect or the burn tool actually works in Adobe Photoshop. You can also use the sponge tool to, fix up certain parts. Okay, let's say I'm going to click on these options and hold on to your left mouse key, and you will be able to fix certain parts like this. You can see it is being a bit faded. Okay, you can see the color is being faded, just like this. This is how the sponge tool actually works. You can also see sometimes it is, extending a bit too, but you can see the color is being removed. And that is how it actually works in all three of these tools. Okay, so I'm going to do is undo a lot more so that I can get my photo how it actually was. Okay, like this. Now, the next tool is going to be this pen tool. You'll be able to, fix out certain places like this, and you'll be able to remove it too, just however you want it. Okay, you'll be able to, let's say, make certain lines and all of those by using this tool. You can also use freeform pen tool, something like this, and you'll be able to highlight a certain part and all of those by using this tool. And after you're done, just click on OK or hit on that tick mark, and you are good to go. If you want a curvature pen tool, you'll be able to do that too. Let's say I'm going to keep it over here and select certain parts, and you will get a certain, line, just however you want it. Then we have is other tools of this pen tool, okay, which also belongs to the same category of this tool. You'll be able to use whichever one you want, and then just fiddle with it for a while, and then you'll get a hold of it. Then we have is the text tool. If you want to add in certain text to your photo, just make a text box, select the size of the, font, let's say 500 or 600. And now I'm going to do is select on the font, whichever one you want. Let's say I'm going to click on over here, let's say. And now what you're going to do is going to be selecting that photo or selecting that part. Let's say I'm going to click it on 500. I'm going to select this part. Now select on. What I'm going to do is keep it over here. I'm going to select the color to be a bit different. Select on this tool. Take it over here. And you can see how it actually looks like on the photo. As you know that the photo will, the text will not be applied on certain, let's say, on or outside of the panel of Adobe Photoshop. Okay, so what you have to do is take it inside of your photo so that you'll be able to see the text and the text box which you are going to use. Okay, let's say this is a photo. Okay, Now you know how to use text boxes too. You're going to get other, options too, such as vertical type tool, vertical type mask tool, or horizontal type mask tool, and all of those. If you want to use those, you are good to go. Okay. So I'm going to do is Control Z and, keep it something like this. Okay. So that I'm good to go too. If you want to change the font and how it looks like, you can also use it from over here. Select whichever, type of text you want to use, and then you will get a specific type of result however you want. You can also use horizontal tool as you want. But if you're done with it, just press on this tick option, or this, don't want to use anymore that option. Then we have is this other tool of this, which is called the path selection tool. You can select the path. Let's say I'm going to select this path. And as this doesn't have a certain shape, what it does is actually, select, let's say, the path tool, and you will be able to, merge it to according to your need. But as I don't have certain, shapes in my photo, I will not be able to do that. So now you know how you'll be able to use those tools in Adobe Photoshop, and also about the image tab in Adobe Photoshop. So thank you for watching this video about this image tab, as I was also supposed to show you the layer tab, but as this photo, or as this tools or the usage of these tools in this video has become quite long, so I'm not going to keep it this long, and I'm going to show it to you, or show the layer tab or the layer ribbon in the next lesson. So hope you understood everything about this lesson, about the tools, and also about the ribbon, which is image ribbon. And thank you for watching this video again, and also for staying with us.